Born in 1963, Peter Rufai had a distinguished career that spanned over 2 decades, playing for clubs both domestically and internationally. He was a cornerstone of the Super Eagles team that achieved unprecedented success, including winning the 1994 Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia and making Nigeria's debut at the FIFA World Cup in the United States the same year. He also represented Nigeria at the 1998 World Cup in France. Beyond his on-field heroics, Rufai was celebrated for his humility, professionalism, and dedication to the sport. After retiring from professional football, he remained involved in the game, contributing to his developmental and inspiring younger generations of footballers. Peter Rufai's death marks a significant loss for the Nigerian football community and the nation as a whole. His legacy as one of Nigeria's greatest goalkeepers and the true icon of the Super Eagles is firmly cemented. Famously known as Dodo Mayana. 61 is quite young. May his soul rest in peace. He'll be deeply missed by fans, former teammates, and all who had the privilege of knowing him. The Nigerian Football Federation and countless well-wishers are expected to release statements and tributes in the coming days. We know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sent his condolences. We have seen governors of all the federating states sending tributes for this great legend. Dr. Abati, a quick comment before we move to...
Oh, yes. He was also a stationary stores player.
Yes.
And as a stationary stores player, I think in 1981, he was in that West African Super Cup in the final that year. Before then, he went on to become part of the Super Eagles team, the 1994 team that won the African Cup of Nations in Tunisia. And then before then, the 2 previous editions when Nigeria was in the semi-finals and won silver medal. Anyway, also went with Nigeria to the World Cup, FIFA World Cup, 1994, 1998, when on both occasions the Super Eagles got to the round of 16. And in all of these competitions, he was the first choice as a goalkeeper. And then, of course, after that career, in retirement, he was involved in discovering young talents and encouraging them. But 61, as you said,
yes,
you know, he's quite young.
Yes.
And all his former colleagues and those who knew him, they've been paying tribute, whether it's Dele Ayenuba or Chief Segun Odegbami or Itimesin, you know, all of them expressing their condolences and how he was such a great footballer and one of those people who captured the public imagination, you know, in those early days in terms of his devotion to Nigeria. One newspaper that we saw said yesterday was a Black Thursday.
Black Thursday.
Because it looks like footballers have been dying one after the other in recent times.
May his soul rest in peace. And you're absolutely right, Dr. Abati. Black Thursday. The sporting world is in mourning with the tragic passing of Diogo Jota, the talented Liverpool and Portugal forward, who along with his brother Andre, lost his life in a devastating car accident on Thursday, July 3rd. The news has sent shockwaves through the football world, coming just weeks after his wedding. Diogo Jota was a remarkable player, admired for his clinical finishing, relentless work ethic, and ability to turn a game on its head. Since joining Liverpool in 2020, he became an integral part of the team, contributing significantly to their success, including a Premier League title, FA Cup, and League Cup. His passion and dedication on the field were evident in every match he played, making him a fan favorite and a respected figure among his peers.
Saved by the goalkeeper, but on hand to make it 3 for Liverpool is Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota, still Diogo Jota, and Diogo Jota is back with a bang.
28. What a tragic loss. Jota was described as an extraordinary person, known for his infectious joy and respected by all who knew him. Our deepest condolences go out to his wife, Rute Cardoso, and their 3 young children and his entire family during this incredibly difficult time. Vimbai, we have seen this wedding pictures trend all over social media. This was so heart-wrenching. When we heard the news yesterday, my son actually is a Liverpool fan, and he called me. He's like, Mommy, have you heard the news? I was really devastated to hear that. I mean, just weeks, 10 days, 11 days, he just got married. 3 children. We saw the video of his wife leaving the funeral home as well. It was so devastating to watch her cry. Really, go ahead.
You know, what a tragedy with someone who was just getting to the peak of his career.
Yeah.
And we know the influence that footballers have now, especially a team like Liverpool, which has such a huge global following. They've just celebrated the cup just a few weeks ago. We saw that beautiful parade that they had. Unfortunately, that also had an incident in it. But just a reminder of how fragile life really is.
Yes.
We've gone through the details of what transpired, that he was advised against flying for medical reasons, so he had to drive. Thank God they've ruled out the fact that, you know, there may have been anything like alcohol consumption. No. It was just one of those. It was unpreventable. In that brand new Lamborghini that he was driving, devastating videos coming from the scene of the accident. And imagine to lose your brother at the same time as well, the only children of their family.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I don't know, what do we say in times like this, except that even at that tender age of 28, he made a global impact. He certainly did, not just for Liverpool, but for Portugal, his country as well. He will be sorely missed, and he will forever be a hero to football lovers.
As a mother, I cannot even imagine what his parents are going through, his wife. Like I said, our hearts go out to their families. Arise News also condoles with the family of Peter Rufai. May his soul rest in peace. We'll take another story now. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, on Thursday donated 1 billion naira to victims of recent violent attacks in Plateau State. During her visit to Jos, the First Lady emphasized that the donation, made through her Renewed Hope initiative, comes from personally raised funds and not from government coffers. She expressed her deep sadness over the persistent killings and violence in the state, stating that she hopes it will be her last visit to the state specifically for this type of intervention. Let's take a look.
This visit is quite a one with mixed feelings for me. I came in here first as a mother whose heart bleeds each time I learn about killings somewhere, flood somewhere. You can see it took me some time to respond. And I want to assure you, this is the last time I would respond to a situation like this in Plateau State, and I pray that God will honor that. The next time I visit is to come and celebrate in Jesus' name. So I came in with a donation from the Renewed Hope Initiative, 1 billion. And I don't have such money. Please. We'll sing after. Please, can we all be seated? This money, because they hear me, if you put money in this entire Nigeria, I will spend it in a day. There are money given to me to help the work personally. It's not government money. I want to use that money to bring life, not pouring money into a basket. Please, is money possibly from greed I would have kept, but I'm using it to work. Know that we have a lot in the Renewed Hope Initiative kitty. We spend as it arrives. Once they give me, I put it in there. We are going to Niger because of the flood. I've been praying, and that's why it took me some time.
All right. You know that I always say that I'm very proud of the First Lady, especially with her Renewed Hope initiative. And, you know, we've always, highlighted, always asking, where is the money coming from? I think this is the first time that we're hearing her clarifying that really it is from donations, and she gives it right out. I mean, she's really doing amazing, institutionalizing the office of the First Lady. I believe she also gave out food supplies. Plateau State will be the 14th state that she has donated food to under the Renewed Hope initiative. And $1 billion, I hope that, 1 billion naira, I hope they look at Rufai, I say her, 1 billion naira, I hope it goes a long way to solve the crisis that, some of these families have faced. I mean, only back in April, I believe 51 people died. Back in May, 40 people died. And we know that Plateau State has, for several decades been the hotbed of killings. Back in 2023, about 200 people died during Christmas. Rufai, kudos to the First Lady for this donation.
No, kudos to her.
Yeah.
Please, in all fairness,
yes,
it's not today she's been doing a charity.
Yes.
In fact, a radio station I was working then was partnered with, I think what she called it was New Era Foundation. At that point in time, in fact, she had come a couple of times, and this was the time I met her. This was, I think, around maybe 2011, 2012, 2013, thereabout at that time. And she had come to promote some of the activities, of the New Era Foundation then. And, she had been interviewed on the platform. And, she had come a couple of times to the radio station I worked then. So I know she had constantly done all of this. So kudos to her on this. And like you said, it's a donation. You can see the sacks of rice there. I think that was that probably donated by BUA or something? Because I could see bags of BUA there, rice there. Because she said it's a donation. So she's just a conduit at which she donates this money and everything. But I think the most important thing we should now look at is another point that she raised as regards, it's a sad one coming here, and we hope she never comes here again.
Yes.
And the truth is, can we now say we found a lasting solution to the problem of the middle, what's it called, the middle belt?
Yeah.
No. You still have skirmishes here and there. But the fact that she showed that milk of human kindness is good.
Yes.
Take Benue, for instance. There's an extended report that came out recently on Benue that out of the 3 billion given, most of the families, because they said you'll get a death benefit of 1 million. Some of them claim that they've not received the money because of bank account issues. The government said, we've disbursed the money. The IDP camp in areas like that, if not for the NGOs that are doing a lot, buying water and the likes, the condition there is very deplorable.
Yes.
I have been doing a lot of work in Benue for over 10 years now, where I help rally and raise support with Say So Foundation to be able to get aid for the flood victims about 10 years ago. And now, with this current situation in Benue, when you also extend it, people in Plateau too are also facing that problem. This is good, it's a drop in the ocean, but how can we do more?
Yes.
That's the most important thing. So we must be able to cater to people that are suffering. It's so sad. See, Audrey, you know why this hurts me?
Tell me.
I remember back in the early 2000s, when they talked about refugee, the picture and image that came to the minds of Nigerians were Liberian refugees that we had to open refugee camps for in Edo State, in Ogun State that I know of, and a couple of other places. Today, Nigerians are now living in refugee camps in their own country. Yeah, and that's the sad reality. For Diego Jota, it's a very sad one. We pray for the repose of his soul and that of his brother. A family, a generation just wiped out like that. A family lost 2 key kids. Pretty much because of the darkness of the moment. A song that comes to mind is Don McLean, American Pie, which was also sort of like a tribute to the things that happened in America then. Valenzuela, the great musician, upcoming musician, had died. And there was a lot of chaos there. That's why I said, every paper that I pick up, there was sadness on the door. And he ended by saying, bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Took the Chevy from the left, from the Chevy. Good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, singing this is just there. It just shows the pain at that period. It just pretty much reminds me of Don McLean's American Pie. We just pray the family will be able to deal with all of this. He was suffering collapsing lungs. And that was why he was advised not to fly.
Yeah.
He wanted to go take a ferry out of Santander, and all of that happened. And Dodo Mayana, I keep saying, what will be remembered? I don't know if we can get that clip.
Peter Rufai.
Yes. What we remember of Dodo Mayana is 25th March 1988, Maroc 88, semi-final penalty shootouts against Algeria. Dudu Mayana saved Nigeria. We'll never forget him.
May his soul rest in peace. Your namesake,
yes, sir.
Rufai. Dr. Abati, a quick comment on Remi Tinubu before we move.
We've always praised, Senator Mrs. Remi Tinubu. The advantage that she has is that she has experience. She's well prepared for the office. She's been a first lady in Lagos State. She's been a senator of the Federal Republic. So apart from being the wife of the president of Nigeria, she understands that terrain, whether it was New Era Foundation and Legacy in Lagos State, which successive administrations have tried to continue. You said, in recent times, she has donated money and resources in 14 states. 14 states. Whether it's River State or it is, some other states, including most recently, Kano State. Yeah. The 22 athletes that died on their return from the sports festival. Now, the state has now decided to name the Kano State Sports Commission. After them, it's now Kano State 22 Athletes Commission, Kano State 22 Athletes Sports Institute. But the key thing in that report was that Mrs. Tinubu visited and donated 110 million naira to be given to the families, of the affected 22 athletes. And on that occasion, the governor, while receiving her, while thanking her, said, look, we will make sure that this money is judiciously passed on to the affected families, which then takes me to the point about transparency and accountability. She's doing this out of the generosity of her heart and out of support for her husband. And she said, try to be transparent to say, these are donations. It's not government money. So if people donate money to the foundation, we have an obligation to give it out to support Nigerians. Secondly, in most of the states, she's collaborating with the wives of the governors in the states. Because if she doesn't go to a particular state, you will see the wife of the governor representing her and say, we are representing our mama in presidential villa. Finally, my final point here is that, with the accolades you have been heaping on her, and the fact that in that office of the First Lady, she's getting generous donations from many constituencies. She may have made the position of First Lady even more famous.
This is what I just said.
Because what will happen is that every Nigerian woman will say, my ambition is to become a First Lady, so that I can also get...
Not your ambition. I mean,
it's a very attractive office now.
Very attractive office. I used to really...
But it's not just about becoming First Lady alone. It's about putting it to good use.
Good use.
As she is doing.
I know. I used to admire Miriam Babangida, the late Miriam Babangida, because, she was involved in a lot of activities. Better Life for Rural Women, Police Officers' Wife Association. I mean, I really, really looked up to her when I was young. And now I see our First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, following in the same footsteps. Congratulations.
You are not dreaming that one day you also...
I mean, anything is possible. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't it be great to know a First Lady like Ojinika Okwe?
We will come and support you.
All right. Well, all right. Very well said. Well, congratulations to our First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu. Well, in another development, Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has strongly criticized the newly formed opposition coalition that adopted the African Democratic Congress as its platform for the 2027 general election. Bayo, in a post on X, described the coalition members as desperados, driven by personal ambition and united solely by their hatred for Tinubu rather than any clear ideology or agenda for Nigeria. Ononuga also dismissed the significance of several prominent figures who joined the coalition, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, and Rauf Aregbesola, claiming that many of them had long been estranged from the All Progressives Congress or had committed anti-party activities. He stated that the APC would not mourn their departure and predicted that the coalition would soon unravel due to irreconcilable personal ambitions of its members. I mean, he's not the first person to say that the party might unravel and, there will be fights. But let me take some reactions to Bayo Ononuga's tweet post on X. This is from Vince, Leave APC. They are suddenly irrelevant, disgruntled, or desperate. But many of these same individuals were once praised as pillars of the party. Nigerians are not blind. We see the hypocrisy. It's not about hate for Tinubu. It's about rejecting failed leadership. Well, Jane Bond wrote, Bayo, if these men are so irrelevant, why the long essay? APC has no moral ground to talk about desperation or ideology. The coalition clearly hit a nerve. 2027 is coming. Vimbai, yesterday, Desperado, many. But, Bayo Ononuga's tweet was quite long, very lengthy, very detailed. But, we are going to see more of these reactions from the spokespeople of the Tinubu administration. Vimbai.
Absolutely. Well, you don't expect that such a development would happen and the president's men wouldn't be ready with the, what did Dr. Abati call it, the Iron Dome or defense system. They had to. It's their duty to do so. My only comment really is I just hope that as time progresses that we'll be able to move away from this politics of insulting one another and it can become a robust intellectual debate about policies. The coalition also should be able to present whatever their alternative is, and the presidency should be able to respond to that. However, we've already seen that happening several times with Atiku Abubakar, with Peter Obi. So this will be an easy thing for the coalition to do because they have people who have already shown consistency in their roles as opposition figures. However, it's impossible to ignore the group that was created. Will there be possible differences? Absolutely. In the morning, I gave examples of coalitions that actually succeeded in unseating ruling parties in India, in Kenya. And I said that coalition parties are fantastic for winning elections. But when it comes to governance, it's usually a very tall order because there are so many conflicting interests. So we wait and see whether this coalition can become more ideological and can start to speak more on what they're about, besides being what they've been called, which is a union of strange bedfellows who are just here to try and take over power. It's up to the coalition to prove to us. Yes, because absolutely. Again, remember, it was the coalition, that is the APC in 2015, that was able to rebrand and repackage former President Muhammadu Buhari. Because when he came into that election, he didn't have a perfect brand. He didn't have the type of brand that most people would have voted for. But they were able to rebrand him, repackage him, and recycle him. So if they could do it then, why can they not? Another group can't do it for a different group of politicians today. It's a recycling game we're playing here. Yes, the beauty of democracy, Vimbai. Well, shall we head over to the Federal Capital Territory now, where Minister Nyesom Wike on Thursday strongly refuted allegations that he allocated vast tracts of land in Maitama and Asokoro to his sons. Wike addressed the allegations during a media briefing in Abuja, defending his children's right to own land in Nigeria. He emphasized that his children are Nigerian citizens and are entitled to acquire property if due process is followed. He dismissed the accusations as a smear campaign and challenged the feasibility of finding large expanses of land in developed districts like Maitama and Asokoro. Let's take a look.
But all this balderdash, rubbish, I don't know where it's coming from.
Where?
No, it's from Adamawa State. I'm aware. You see, what you cannot do to anybody, it doesn't make sense. In any case, for example, assuming do not consider, you apply to me to allocate land to you, right? Because you're a citizen of Nigeria. My children are not citizens. They are Ghanaians. I'm sure if I look at the envelope, if I look at the file, most of them must have applied for land. So you want me to sit down and allocate to you? Now if my children apply, they are not entitled because I'm the minister.
Did you give your children any plot of land at all?
I have told you, bring the document. What my president drug was found was given like Buhari. How does that become my son?
He's right.
Absolutely, well, He has dismissed the claims, Dr. Abati. I know that when we took this story, you actually did make that point, that, Nyesom Wike's children have the right to own land in Abuja. But he's also said that those companies are not his children's companies. So this person from Adamawa State, he didn't tell us who that person is, who is, spreading these false rumors. But before I come to you,
to prove who that person is.
he said he's from Adamawa
If
State.
he can't prove who the person is from Adamawa spreading the false rumor, he will be accused of spreading falsehood. So we challenge him to give us empirical facts. And what we are also saying is, nobody is saying people don't have a right to own land, Oji. And that's why I've also challenged People's Gazette to bring out more documents like they claim that. What we are saying is, how can you register a company on the 10th of October and the company is giving land at location on the 17th? Is that the way it's easy? Dr. Abati knows more about Abuja matters than me.
All right.
Is that how quick it is to get land? Is that the due process that in 7 days you can get allocation?
Okay.
Let us look at that critically.
Rufai, I just told you I was going to take 2.
Oh, yeah,
then I will
go ahead.
discuss
Sorry.
both. Do you want to discuss this?
I apologize.
No, I just want to know.
Please go ahead.
Well, before we discuss it all, let's take this one. Well, speaking about the newly formed ADC coalition, Wike took a jab at the politicians who have aligned with the party, especially from the PDP. He described renowned journalist Dele Momodu as a boy, saying that he ran for president but did not even get 1 vote. Dele Momodu, the publisher of Ovation International magazine, had recently claimed that Wike cannot defect to the All Progressives Congress because he would lose his authority. Let's listen to Wike.
This boy comes out towards them. He says the journalist calls them. It's big. He said,
Dele Momodu.
okay. I don't really remember all these names.
He was your friend.
He has not been my friend.
Really?
There are things I won't tell you. This is somebody who said he ran for president. Not, he didn't get 1 vote. So that is the condition that you tell me when you see him there. Yeah. I mean, we will not people who appear on television, on sunrise, what do you call sunrise? What do you call it? Sunrise. And you give them, oh, what do you have to show? Even if I live as the minister today, I can talk authoritatively. When I was minister of FCT, this was what I did. Let them Nigerians challenge me.
All right. You know that Dele Momodu will not keep quiet. And his response to Wike has been trending. And I'll read it in part. Dele Momodu wrote on Instagram, I can confirm that too much alcohol can do 2 things. Dull the memory and get people, I'm not going to say that word, on elections. There is no difference between the man who wasted billions on seeking power and still lost the one who spent nothing to get nothing. They are both losers. The difference here is one is an uncouth, an uncultured local champion called Money Miss Road, while the other is a decorous and refined global citizen surviving on containment. We thought we could be of help, but we failed because some souls are irredeemable. Lesson. No one has the monopoly of madness. We can all speak at the same time, right? Dr. Abati. Dele Momodu is not a boy. We all know that, but I mean, I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Chief Dele Momodu is not.
Go ahead.
He's a multiple chief. He's a distinguished journalist. Yes. He's a publisher, CEO of many initiatives, and he's a very well-known personality in his chosen field. And so you wouldn't expect him to allow that innuendo to pass. And that was why he came after Wike too, because the innuendo was clear enough in his own case. Now, in that interview, Wike also deployed innuendo in another regard when he talked about, I know where it is from. It's from Adamawa.
Yes.
But again, he did not mention anybody's name. Maybe being a lawyer, well, I hope he still remembers his law. He tries to avoid a direct attack on anybody.
Yes.
So that you don't go and sue him for defamation. So if you are interpreting that well, if you are interpreting that is this person, he will say, well, it was innuendo. He can mention other people's names.
Yes.
However, number 2 point that he made there was that he spoke about the land allocation.
Yes.
Now, what he was saying is also correct. That, look, if you are allocated to my children, one, as citizens, they are entitled, once they follow due process, they follow the procedure required, and they are entitled to own property anyway.
Yeah.
That was the point I made before. Then he said, the people who are alleging that he gave land to his children should come and provide empirical evidence.
Yes.
That was the phrase he used. He almost used Rufai's empirical facts.
He listens to me.
No.
He can't deny it. I put it to him.
Well,
he listens to me.
No, he
listens to me.
He used the phrase.
It's fine.
He used the phrase
empirical evidence. Yeah.
Right? And the principle behind it is that if you allege, you prove. He who alleges must prove. So you cannot say he himself must come and prove that he didn't give land to his children. No, we run an accusatorial jurisdiction here. So it is the people who allege who will come and prove. And then he said, in any case, where will you get 2,000 square meters in Maitama and Asokoro that is already fully built up? So underscore is very correct. We can't argue with him on that score. The third thing that he used that interview to do was to attack the coalition. And he singled out personalities, Rotimi Amechi, whom he said he has defeated everywhere throughout his career. Senator David Mark, whom he says alleges that Nigeria has gone the other way, that Nigeria did not fail. What did he do? When he was Senate president for 2 terms, he attacked, who else did he attack now? Senator Aminu Tambuwa.
Yes.
He also said, when you were in Sokoto, what did you do? Then he said Adi Sirika, Captain Adi Sirika, had joined APC, but I think Captain Adi Sirika has made it clear that he's still in APC. He has not joined any coalition. So, but all of that is just political talk. So, on the issue of clarifying land allocation, I think he's right about that. But the innuendos, the people who think that the innuendo is meant for them, they will reply.
Fantastic.
But I don't want to, say this is the person he has in mind from Adamawa.
From Adamawa,
know the people
I know a few people from Adamawa, but like Rufai has said, he who alleges must prove. But we also want to know this Adamawa person. Who is this Adamawa person who's carrying fake news?
You just want gist.
Because people are thinking that they are giving land to
we
their
don't
children.
want peace. We want violence. So please, Mr. Wike, mention we are talking to Adamawa.
The coalition held unveiled itself on Wednesday.
Yes.
By Thursday, he has quickly organized a media rally. So be careful. If you talk out of tongue. Tomorrow, he will do another media rally.
The reason why I like his media rally is that if we talk out of tongue, he do media rally. We become richer. He will be the one talking.
Rufai on fire. Well, all right.
How do you become richer? Because Wike does media.
Is the media rally free? I don't understand. Dr. Abati, is it free?
Does the money come to you?
What are you talking? The platform becomes richer.
I don't know about that.